is Tom Pararda, and I live at 9535 Joliet Street. I've been kind of quiet about this for quite a while. July 13th is when the first shot in the school was fired. It was fired at me. Okay, on July 13th, I was contacted by Mr. Gill and was told that the town was wanted to approve the project. My answer to that was, I want to fix the place up, I'm going to come up with my life plan. And his was, well, we're going to do whatever means necessary to take the property. Well, that was
Mr. Pararda, what does this have to do with the comp plan?
everything.
It has nothing to do with the
It
comp plan.
has everything.
I disagree.
Because this
Do you
was
have any
the
remonstrance?
beginning.
Do you have
This
a-
was the beginning.
Mr. Pararda,
This was the beginning
take it down now.
of the town comprehensive plan.
You are
This
mistaken.
was the beginning of it.
You are mistaken.
No, I am not mistaken. Nothing much of anything was said about this, and nobody was informed about it. This was before the meeting at Lake
Mr.
Central
Pararda,
High School.
Mr. Pararda, do you have any comment on the comprehensive master plan?
Yes, I do.
Please state.
I don't like you tried to buy my property for $31,000. And you know what? I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Pararda,
folks.
Mr.
You
Pararda,
people that
Mr.
have
Pararda.
heard this all before.
Mr. Pararda.
I'm very sorry you have to hear that.
Mr. Pararda.
Yes, Mr. Forbes.
You have a comment.
I am making my
No, sir,
comments
you are not.
right now.
This is your last chance.
I called
Sir.
Mr. Volk last night.
Mr. Pararda, do you
I'm
have?
making my comments, and I'm going to continue if you quit interrupting me.
Stick to the topic.
I called Mr. Volk last night. He represents our neighborhood as a councilman. I want to know, we elected you, why are you not coming to bat for us instead of Mr. Boyer? You're in there because we elected you.
Mr. Pararda, do you have anything to say about the
I am
comprehensive
saying,
master plan?
I am
You are not.
saying.
You are making
yes,
accusations.
This has to do with the comprehensive plan. This has exactly, it went away for a while, I went away for a while. Now it's back, so now I'm back. I do not want to see our neighborhood torn apart because of a private individual that wants to build somewhere in this town that we have an
Again, Mr.
opposition
Pararda, you
to.
are confusing two topics. You
I
are
am?
not- Yes, you are.
Well, set me straight on that, then, Mike.
We are discussing the comprehensive master plan.
Which is, the town center is part of. Do you understand
I
that?
do, and you are not part of the town center.
I'm not part of the town center.
Not the discussion you are having right now. Mr. Pararda,
Clear?
we're done.
For me?
Mr. Pararda, thank you.
I'm not, let me just ask a question.
You're done.
I'm
Mr.
not
Pararda,
part of the town
I have
center.
the authority to end
Yeah, I
this
know,
portion.
I know, which you usually don't use. When you should use it is when Bill is over there, Bill Keith crying about he needs a restaurant he can ride a bike to. The worst town council president I've ever seen in my life.
Mr. Hero, Joe Hero.
Joe Hero, 11723 South Oak Ridge Drive. First of all, I would like to remonstrate against this master plan because I think, first of all, people here are not having a fair public hearing. The town board president and president of this council is shutting down their comment. And for that reason, I think this is an illegal public hearing. And I object to this type of hearing. I also object to this hearing because the St. John Homeowners Pact, which represents the people on Thielen Street who will be impacted by this comprehensive plan, they tried to fight it with the political action with political signs. The town manager took those
Mr.
signs.
Hero, Mr.
I'm
Hero,
giving,
Mr.
I'm
Hero.
giving you my objection to the fairness of this hearing.
This hearing is fair. I am
Look, you can't interrupt the public hearing
You need to
with
stop
your
your
response.
rhetoric. You need to stop your rhetoric. You've made one comment that is directly related to the comprehensive master plan. Do you have any more comment?
Yes, I do. Well, I think this hearing is unfair, and I object to it, because I think
Who got
Mr.
that?
Forbes has failed to disclose that one of the attorneys here represented him in a case. I think he should have disclosed that here. So I object to this hearing in that respect. Now, I'm going to get down to other issues. The traffic congestion that this thing will create is going to be horrific with all the stoplights on 41. I think it will compromise the safety of the people, the residents, and the property owners. The other thing is the comprehensive plan will not protect the public health, safety, welfare, comfort, and in general welfare of the town. The comprehensive plan, in my opinion, has been developed for one person. The outcome of this plan commission is predisposed. We heard at the Economic Development Commission where Mr. Kill has already met with IDOT for the 96 Place Road, okay, and a state senator. That tells me this is predisposed. And the fact that Mr. Pararda's house was to be taken for a turnaround, which eventually this master plan will impact, that tells me this is predisposed and this is not a fair hearing. Also, the comprehensive plan, I believe, will constitute an unconstitutional taking of people's properties. People that live on Joliet in the town center, the way this master plan is set up, it has to be basically followed. And rhetoric that says it doesn't is false, in my opinion. I think the municipality will be forced to comply with the comprehensive plan, which is going to adversely affect the health, safety, welfare of the residents and the property values. Comprehensive plan won't create efficiency and economy in the land use development. If you look at 96th Place on that master plan, the road is going to have to be expanded on the other side. And if you look at the master plan and the Boyer development, that shows that 96th Place is a dedicated highway, which means the taxpayers got to pay for that. I think that is totally inappropriate. And the way this thing is going, that this thing is set to be voted on no matter what is said here tonight. So I think it's an unfair hearing again. The plan must state the objectives for future development. I see just general rhetoric. I don't see specifics on how this is going to improve the town. I don't see the detail. I don't see a statement of policy where the land use development is going to be improved. I don't see the statement of public ways, public places, public lands, public utilities. I don't see any of that in the master plan in detail, so that it's reasonable to assume it's going to be implemented the way it is. I think this plan is developed for special interest people. I think every one of these stoplights is going to benefit special interest people and not the people in St. John, because it's going to make their land very valuable. So I think the master plan is not geared for the people of St. John, it's geared for special developers. I think the plan is not giving consideration to the community as a whole with preserving their identity of the community. The present comprehensive plan was relied on by people who moved here years ago. I think this diverts the existing master plan, and I think it's detrimental reliance that these people moved here on, and their property values will be diminished because you're putting this new comprehensive plan in. The scope and perspective of this comprehensive plan creates inefficiencies in the development of the community and will have an adverse effect, same effect as spot zoning. The comprehensive plan will not give the community the best course of development of real estate. It will not give the best advantage to real estate. This is done for specific beneficiaries of these stoplights, and that is not the beneficiaries of the common people of St. John. The plan does not have a reasonable regard to the factors of conservation of property values throughout the community. It is not responsible development and growth. It is not the most desirable use of the land. It also damages the current character of the community. The plan is arbitrary and capricious and has no rational basis for development. The plan will aggravate traffic congestion. Can you imagine 6 stoplights on, say, on 41? The traffic there is horrific now. If we put all those traffic lights in, it's going to be gridlock. Look at what the development did in Highland, or I'll say Cherville, Highland border, Main Street. Okay? And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be pushing traffic from 41 onto the side streets of Joliet, School Street, Kyleman, 93rd. And you have failed to develop 93rd into an adequate road. This plan will force drivers to use side streets and neighborhood streets as shortcuts to get around the congestion that you're putting on 41. This plan has no rational basis. It's arbitrary and capricious again. The traffic patterns and increased traffic will have an adverse effect on the public health, safety, welfare, morals, and whatever. And if you look at the ultimate goal of the Boyer development, it's to hit Joliet Street, put a turnaround there. And I think once you do that, that's going to affect the school buses, the children, public safety, to the local elementary schools, and wherever they're going. This plan is totally defective, in my opinion, and it should not be put forward. I think we need to carefully plan the roads to protect the health, safety, welfare of the community, and I don't think that is done again in this plan because it creates hazards that were not there before and increases the hazards that are already there. The findings of fact of this plan commission is going to lack specificity. Okay? Again, I think this thing has been predestined, going back
Mr. Hero,
a long
you're
time.
repeating yourself. Can you wrap up, please?
I think the findings of fact are going to be prejudiced by all of the factors that I said, and I think it's unbiased and not balanced, and there's no proper reasoning in developing this plan. So I think for these reasons, this thing should not be adopted. If you look at who the beneficiaries are,
Mr. Hero, you're repeating yourself again.
I want you to say, look who, I didn't say who the beneficiaries are. I'm asking, is there anybody here present at this table that's a beneficiary of a stoplight here? I don't hear an answer, okay? Well, we'll go take a look at all the properties along the route of the 6 stoplights. That will tell you who the beneficiaries are going to be. So for all of these reasons, I think the town of St. John, the people are not the beneficiaries, the developers are the beneficiaries, and I think that there's been an undue influence by Mr. Forbes in conducting this public hearing. I think it is illegal because he has shut down Mr. Sweats, he has shut down Mr. Pararda, and he's tried to shut me down. And for all of those reasons, this is not a valid public hearing.
Yeah, we got
and
it.
for those reasons, I object to it. Thank you so much for listening.
Appreciate your time. Haluska?
Haluska, 12406 Patno Drive. This is specifically for the comprehensive / thoroughfare plan. I was here when they did the 2005, and a lot of things have been brought up. At that time, they were looking at the paving property that is north of the railroad tracks, just north of the mall. That is bad soil. That plan had to be changed. They want to just go back to the 2000 plan, but keep in mind, when you did the master zoning ordinance and US 41 was made our commercial corridor, they didn't take anybody's houses. You are having a knee-jerk reaction because you are being part of a comprehensive plan, and just like the letter that was sent to you, they're not taking your homes. NERC has been working on the high-speed rail system that was supposed to go to Indianapolis to Chicago and have a train station around here. That was back in the 80s. It took 22 years to get the stoplight at 97th Lane and US 41. All of Homestead Acres, all 34 phases, was just about completed before that light went in. I do understand that these 6 stoplights are conceptual. Are they just gonna pop up overnight? No. Is NDOT going to just put them up? Because we have a comprehensive plan and we've had a public hearing and they want here, 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 and here. No. We are not Cherville, we are not Highland, we are not Dyer, East Chicago, Whiting, Crown Point. But keep in mind, those of you that have lived here a long time, I know the historical value of the different neighborhoods. I remember when Standard Lumber was on par with Schilling Lumber, and both were thriving home-based businesses. Mr. Buchanan Sr. developed that commercial property and tried to keep the same building. Now, it has nothing to do with the comprehensive plan that Mr. Boyer / Buchanan wants to take that old, dilapidated Standard Lumber building and tear it down and put in some beautiful brick commercial buildings. But anyone who has gone to Dunkin' Donuts, and one of my favorite places to get coffee, knows that that intersection is a nightmare, and they also know that the Indiana Department of Transportation is adamant. They will not allow the town of St. John to put a traffic light there. To divert the traffic to 96, which is the only one I feel is probably in the near future, is for the safety of the town, including all of the residents on Joliet. Nobody should be making a left-hand turn on the US 41, period, from Joliet Street. Traffic shouldn't be blocked back up to a little light because they're trying to make a left-hand turn onto Joliet Street. They need to just settle down. Nobody is taking your homes. This is conceptual. What it does mean is if, after all your families and your house, you want to sell it, because that used to be the town's commercial area. That's where our post office was. You now used to have a beauty shop. Now you have Mr. Sarkey's insurance company, and you do have seamstress work there in part of it. If you sell your house, they're saying, well, it's going to make our house worth less. No, it's going to make it worth more, because then it can be sold for commercial as part of the town center only and when you choose to sell your house. If I lived on Joliet Street, it's the truth.
Ms. Haluska, to address the board, if you could.
Absolutely. But nobody took any homes on US 41 when they made it all a commercial corridor. They did make standards. Somewhere, somebody has been telling people and giving them a bill of goods about how they're going to take their homes away.
They tried to take my home.
Mr. Pararda, please.
Yes, Mr. Forbes. Am I not telling
Do
the
not
truth?
interrupt, please.
Am I not telling the truth?
They are trying very hard to take a safety issue, which is very poor, and make it better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, appreciate it.